What if I told you one of the most controversial subgenres in electronic music is built on almost nothing? One kick, one clap, one square wave. No melody, no complexity, no constant switch-ups. And yet it's filling festival stages and reshaping bass culture worldwide. This is the evolution of Riddim dubstep. So, if you strip Riddim down to its skeleton, it's almost primitive. One kick, one clap, a square wave bass, and a loop that barely changes. And somehow, it works. To understand Riddim though, we need to rewind to the early 2000s South London. Dubstep was being forged in dark, bass-heavy basements by producers like Skream, Benga, and Digital Mystics. This wasn't festival music. It was sparse, sub-driven, oppressive. The focus was space and weight. Drops weren't explosive. They were heavy and restrained. The bass felt physical. Then around 2010, dubstep crossed the Atlantic and mutated. Artists like Skrillex injected metallic growls, aggressive mid-range chaos, and rapid switch-ups. This era became known as brostep. It was maximalist, loud, constantly evolving. But inside that chaos, a counter-movement began. Instead of adding more layers, some producers simplified. That's where Riddim begins. The word Riddim comes from the Jamaican dancehall culture. It means the instrumental backbone, the rhythm artist voiceover. In dubstep, the term started being used in the early 2010s to describe a drop style that was minimal, repetitive, and hypnotic. Early architects like Subphiltronic, Buke's Finest, AD, and Shivers helped shape the foundation. The UK and Germany were crucial before North America amplified it. Now here's the technical core. Most Riddim sits around 140 to 150 BPM. Kick on the 1, clap on the 3. The defining feature is the bass design. Classic Riddim basses are built from square waves, one of the most basic waveforms in synthesis. Hollow, harsh, digital. Producers run that through filters and modulate it using an LFO, a low frequency oscillator for the new guys, which rhythmically moves parameters like filter cutoff. In Riddim, that LFO is tightly synced, often triplet based. That's what creates the choppy bounce. And here's the crucial point. It doesn't evolve much. Instead of cinematic builds and dramatic switch ups, Riddim locks into a loop and rides it. Small variations, subtle shifts, but the groove remains. Why does that work? Well, because repetition creates hypnosis. Humans respond to rhythm on a neurological level. Repetition synchronizes crowds. It reduces cognitive load. It becomes trance-like. Riddim is digital ritual. By the mid-2010s, the sound exploded in North America. Producers like Infect, Ominous, Badclat, and Virtual Riot helped bring it to larger stages. Then came Briddim, a hybrid of brostep and Riddim. It kept the square wave bounce but layered it with bigger builds and festival theatrics. Louder, more dramatic, designed for massive crowds. But culture diverged. UK Riddim stayed darker and minimal. North American Riddim leaned explosive and theatrical. Same roots, different ecosystems. And here's what makes Riddim philosophically interesting. In a music industry obsessed with escalation and novelty, Riddim rejects constant change. It says, here's the groove, we're staying here. That restraint became identity. But evolution doesn't stop. Right now, Riddim is entering another phase, cinematic fusion. One of the more interesting pushes in that direction is coming from the duo modal node. Their approach fuses heavy Riddim, square wave chops, minimal drums, hypnotic loops with orchestral sci-fi world building inspired by the tonal language of Star Wars. Not parody, not remixing themes, but integrating cinematic structure into Riddim's framework. Cinematic scoring relies on leitmotifs, recurring musical themes tied to characters or ideas. It's emotional architecture. It builds myth. When orchestral tension, strings, bass checkers, choirs, and cinematic risers are layered over Riddim's repetitive core, something shifts. The loop gains narrative weight. The repetition becomes epic. Instead of just groove hypnosis, you get world-building hypnosis. The skeleton stays simple, but the atmosphere expands. This isn't Briddim aggression. It's myth layered over minimalism. It's Riddim stepping into a cinematic scale without abandoning its hypnotic structure. If early UK dubstep was shadow, and brostep was explosion, and Riddim was restraint, and Briddim was hybrid power, then cinematic Riddim is expansion. Whether this becomes dominant or remains a niche branch depends on culture.